Hi, my name's Chloe Henderson and welcome to coinoperatedpress. It's our second birthday! Happy birthday to us! And we thought we'd celebrate by filming a little Q&A and getting you guys to ask a bunch of questions about us, and we're answering them all for you today. So yay! Happy birthday! Let's get on with the questions! So I've been asked why we're called coinoperatedpress, and that's like a long story. Myself and Chloe met over 10 years ago, I believe, on the Shadowbox, which is the Dresden Dolls band forum. So coinoperatedpress is a nod to their song Coin Operated Boy. We met on the Shadowbox, we were friends for years. I'd seen Chloe's artwork and really liked it, and then we'd known each other for years, and then I moved to Scotland about 5 years ago now, 5-6 years ago, and ended up living down the street from her, but I didn't know it till like I'd been there for about a year. And I was very lonely in my flat in Dalkeith and just doing my masters, and that was it. Didn't really have a social life. Was just being a student, that's what I did. But like, you know, a mature student working on my masters, so I didn't really have the fun, like, let's go out and get drunk every day thing. And then I discovered that Chloe lived up the street, so she definitely made my time during my masters a lot more fun. When we very first hung out in person, we went to Greyfriars Kirkyard in Edinburgh and we went on a ghost tour, and we thought it was going to be like one of those fun, like, silly ghost tours that Edinburgh does a lot of, but this was paranormal investigators who took it very seriously, and it was a lot of fun. But I'm very glad that I found someone who thought it was as hilarious as I did. We were kind of at the back of the group, just in hysterics the whole time, and then that's when I knew that I'd found like a really great friend. And we've done like a bunch of work aside, you know, before we started coinoperatedpress. We worked together at a bunch of Edinburgh Fringe events, and I'd done some work with Chloe for her artwork, and we just kind of always did a bunch of arty shenanigans together. But our friendship came back to like, oh, we met because of the Dresden Dolls, and we really valued the community that we came from. So we had to honour that with our name, and we named it coinoperatedpress because it sounds really cool and it honours our like teenage dreams of Brian and Amanda, and we had to give a nod to those two. So how did we come up with the idea of starting a publishing company that works exclusively with zines? Well, I think that it was really important to us to offer a really accessible art form. Myself and Chloe have worked in the arts for years, and it was just really important to me, as from Manchester, a working class person, to make sure that art is accessible. I've grown up with an amazing family who have always like introduced me to a bunch of art and taken me to gigs from a really young age, and my mum and stepdad were involved in the theatre and was a musician and stuff, so I've always had that. But we've always been like working class, and it's always been important to me to keep art accessible. And I think that when we wanted to set up a company, that was at the forefront of what we wanted to do. What has been the highlight of your first 2 years? There's so many things to choose from. We've done so many things in our first 2 years, which is really exciting. Not only like launching ourselves as a business, of course, and putting out our online shop, making so many zines. I think we're maybe at like 25 or so now. And getting ourselves into a bunch of wonderful festivals, zine fests and craft fairs, and hosting all of our workshops. There's so many things that we've done which are, yeah, really great, and I'm so proud of us, to be honest. I think it's maybe because it's fresh in my mind because it's only a couple of weeks ago, but I think my favourite thing that we've done so far is Edinburgh Zine Fest, tabling at that. It was a real honour to be chosen to table at that. I was really proud that we got in, and
the couple of days we were there were so much fun. I mean, we were knackered at the end of it, but it was really great fun. We sold a bunch of zines, which was great, but the thing that was most wonderful about that event was being able to speak to all of you guys. So speaking to our fellow zinesters, all of the tablers and people that were just there sharing their zines, and yeah, our customers as well. So it was really nice to be able to get an indication that we're wanted and valued within the community, which is very nice. A lot of people have heard of us already, which is bizarre, to be honest. I mean, I love it, but I'm also like, how do you know us? Yeah, it was really nice. I really enjoyed it, and I think that's probably been my favourite thing so far, and hopefully more like that in the future.
So we've been asked if Coin Operated Press is our job or if it's a side hustle, and if it's our job, how we did that. It is our job. Myself and Chloe do work primarily on this. This is my job, and Chloe does this and her own artwork as well. We're not currently paid for the work that we do with Coin Operated Press. We're paid here and there in donations and ticket sales of the workshops that we do, but we don't take a regular income from it at the moment. We hope to make that the case, but we really felt like we wanted to work for ourselves. After I got ill and was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, I couldn't go back to a regular job, so it was really important to me that I created something for myself that meant that I could work my own hours and take breaks when I needed to, and work in a supportive environment. And working for yourself and with a business partner like Chloe Henderson really does wonders for your health. But in terms of making this a viable business, we are looking to on Patreon for donations as a subscription service to our zines, and we look for donations at our events, and then we charge small ticket prices at larger events that we do. In terms of generating an income for ourselves. At the moment, all of the money that we make goes straight back into the company and the communities that we work with. We are working with people like Business Gateway and Just Enterprise to help us set ourselves up as a business and become a social enterprise. We're really interested in engaging with our local communities, and we're really excited to see where the next couple of years takes us. We hope that it can continue to be our job, and we really love working with our communities, with you lot on Coin Operated Press, all of the zines that we put out, and we love meeting you at all of our events, and the fact that we can provide a creative space for you is something that we really do love to do. So we've been asked what a social enterprise is. You may have seen this past few months we have started setting ourselves up as a social enterprise. Now, what a social enterprise means to me is that we engage with minority groups in our community. So for us, that means that we focus on LGBT communities, people with chronic illnesses and disabilities, those from working class backgrounds, etc. They're our main focus. We, as a social enterprise, the money that we make goes back into the company, and really what we want to do as a social enterprise is engage with our communities. I think especially after the last few years of being in lockdown and not being able to get out and engage with people, it was really important that we did that.
If you had to replace your legs with animal legs, which legs would you choose? That's an amazing wild card question. Love it. Got nothing to do with zines, but I love it. Perfect question. I think my answer might be a little bit cheating, but I would pick a whale tail. That's sort of legs. I mean, way, way back, the tails would have been legs, sort of. I'm going with that. So yeah, I'd pick a whale tail because I just want to be a mermaid, basically. If I had to pick something with actual legs, I think I'd go for I don't know, the maned wolf. The legs on that thing are fantastic. It just looks like an animal that someone's made up in Photoshop. It's bizarre. I'd go for those legs because they're just weird.
this cracked me up. And then I was thinking, like, a spider would be cool because there's loads of legs, or a crab or something, but I don't actually like spiders. They creep me out a bit. And then I'm like, would I be creeped out by my own legs? Like if I had a Katie body and then spider legs, would that might be a bit weird. And then so I thought, what would I have? And I think like maybe a giraffe. My wife is really tall. She's 6 foot something and I'm 5'1". So giraffe legs might be nice. I can feel some height for once. That might be good.
How do you decide on themes for your zines? Ooh, good question. So there is a document in our drive that basically just has all of the ideas that we ever come up with. So maybe one of you guys will suggest a theme that you like and we're like, yeah, that sounds great, and we'll add it to the list. Or there'll be something like specific about the month. So like in February it's Valentine's, which is sort of loved up, so we had like the sex positive zine, and the year before the relationship zines. They just seem to make sense for that time of month, that time of year. Same for June, it's Pride month, so last year we did the Pride poetry zine, and this year we'll be doing our Pride protest zine. So yeah, the time of year plays into it, and that's ultimately a good way for us to decide. Same with like the Halloween's, obviously. But if not that, it's just things that Katie and I really enjoy, to be honest. Like, we're big nerds, so we did like the nerd zine. We like D&D because we're big nerds, so we're doing the D&D zine. So a lot of it's things that we enjoy, but also, yeah, requests that come from you guys. So if there's something that you want to see from us specifically, drop us a comment down below, or send us a message on our socials, or send us an email and let us know the kind of themes you'd like to see from us, because we're more than open to suggestions, and we have a big master list of all the ideas that we want to make with our zines. There's definitely more ideas. We've got months at this moment, but that's a good thing. I'm really excited for all the ones that are on there. So yeah, we plan our year at the start of each year, and we plan all the zine themes that we're going to do for that following year, or we did last year, and that seems to be the pattern that we'll continue doing. So we know what we're doing for the whole of this year, and then our next planning session will be next January. So yeah, get your suggestions in and maybe we'll pick up some of them for next year.
I was asked whether Coin Operated Press publishes other artists and other creators, or if we just make our collaborative monthly zines. We've just launched our distro, where we will be accepting other creators into our shop. So if you have a zine or an independent novel, poetry collection, cookbook, etc. that you would like us to consider, we would really love to have a look at your work. We'll have a link down below to our Google form, and you can definitely submit work to us if you want to if you want us to host your publication in our online shop and at our zine fairs. Recently we've had a few things come into our collection. We have published this book of poems by Angel Rosen, and it's made by the Amanda Palmer community on Facebook. They all contributed to this. We printed and published it. This is our sample copy, so it will look a little bit different than this when it arrives on your doorsteps, everybody who pre-ordered. But yeah, we have published this poetry collection. Chloe has put her own zine into our distro. So we put books and smaller zines, mini zines, all sorts of stuff in our distro. And Matthew Walker has published this book of medieval recipes. So we've got a medieval cookbook. This is going to be launched into our distro very soon. It's a really cool thing, and I'm really excited that Matthew got in touch with us, and I can't wait to put this out into the world. So to answer the question, we do primarily publish our collaborative zines. We have just started working on our distro, where we will be publishing zines and small publications as well.
I love the style of your zines. Who designs the covers? Aw, thank you. I design our covers. So outside of CoinOp, I'm an illustrator and jeweler and general just artist person. So I design our covers and make the zines themselves. So all of the little illustration details that you see inside our zines are done by me. The majority of it is hand illustrated, so I illustrate using mostly ink on paper, and then I take photographs of my illustrations and I digitize them to make them a stronger graphic design, and then I'll add little digital elements to it to make it the final product. So yeah, all of the illustrations, all of the visual things that you see on CoinOp were probably hand drawn with ink at some point, including our logo, including the designs on the pins and stickers and postcards that you see, including this little cog on our plectrums. So yeah, at one point it was all hand drawn, and then it's put into something digital and created into our product, which is quite a good example of what we do. It starts off as something DIY and made with our hands, and then it transfers into the digital realm, and then it becomes printed onto something like a zine or a plectrum or a banner, and that's basically how we make CoinOp happen. So that was a roundabout way of answering your question.
I've been asked what zine making tool I couldn't live without, and I don't really know if this counts because it's a few things, but they go hand in hand. I make cut and paste zines, and so I need scissors, PVA glue or Pritt stick, and a piece of paper and a Sharpie, and then I'm good to go. You don't need that many tools to make zines with. I think that if I had to pick one thing, I would say a Sharpie, because I can doodle on anything, right? And make a zine out of anything. Give me an old cereal box and I'll make a zine out of it. I think probably I will say Sharpie as my final answer.
That's a difficult one. I probably like my laptop, to be honest. I think I need this more than anything else. These are all the wonderful stickers I have in the back of my laptop. But yeah, I think I need my laptop probably more than anything else, because I do a lot of my zine layouts on there, especially for CoinOp stuff. We do all of our zines pretty much digitally. I tend to do the front covers with the illustrations, so for example with the sex positive one, all of these are illustrations, and then I'll edit them digitally and I'll put together the insides all digitally from the submissions that you guys send in. So yeah, probably my laptop, especially for CoinOp work. Although with my own zines, I guess a pen. That's the one main tool that we all use in zine making, but it's really hard. The main little toolkit that I suppose anybody would need to make a zine, the very basics would be scissors, paper, glue, and a pen. I think that's the very basics of what you'd need to make any zine. But for me, yeah, probably my laptop.
Well, I've been asked what my favourite zine is, and I'm choosing to answer this in two ways because I wasn't really sure what you meant, whether it was our own zines that we've published or other ones that I have found. So I'm going to give you a selection of the ones that we have published because I just couldn't choose, so I've chosen 3 of my favourites. I chose Chronically Iconic because this one just has a really special place in my heart. I have a chronic illness myself, so engaging with that community was really important to me. We got some really beautiful submissions, and people really gave such a special, intimate part of themselves to the Chronically Iconic zine, and I really appreciated everybody who submitted. I also really like the cover art of this one. We really leaned into the spoon theory idea, and Chloe's done some really cool artwork on this one. Next, I chose the Depression Walk zine. This is a really chunky zine. It's, I think, 50 something artists, and there's really cool artwork in here. It feels really hefty. It's probably one of the most recent ones that we've made where I felt really proud of it just because of the content. Chloe did something a bit different with the cover art on this one, where she went and did some photography and went to a local park and did a bunch of cool stuff. So I was really excited to see this front cover. We have a lot of friends in here, regular contributors, and I think this was a difficult one to sit through in the submissions meetings, just given the subject matter. It's a tough one, but I think that it's a really important one that we made. Along with the Chronically Iconic, I think the Depression Walks, anything that's exploring mental health and and disability is really important. I think people don't talk about it enough, so I'm really proud of these two that we put out. And lastly, out of our ones that we've published, I really wanted to give a shout out to Unapologetic Feminism. We did a collaboration with Artificial Womb, and this is the first zine that we've collaborated with anybody on, and I'm really looking forward to doing more of that in the future. We really enjoyed the experience of working with them. And it was, again, a really cool subject matter, and I like the fact that we did this one in black and white. We've never published any of our zines in black and white apart from this one, so it was nice to do something a bit different. And Chloe gave a little nod to the film Moxie with the cover art and the designs throughout, so I think this one's really cool. And yes, as I was saying, I really did enjoy the experience of collaborating on a zine. If anybody would like to collaborate with us in the future, do send us an email. You'll find information on our website as well, and we'll leave information down below of how you can contact us. We're always up for new exciting projects. So as I was saying, I'm not really sure if the question referred to a favourite zine that we've published or a favourite one that I've picked up from elsewhere. So I've rambled on about my favourite ones that we've published, and now I want to talk a bit about my favourite, most recent one that I've bought. So I met Georgie Mac at the Edinburgh Zine Library Festival at the Fruit Market last weekend, and I picked up this zine which is so funny. It's amazing. It's called A New Kind of Astronaut by Georgie Mac, and I got it because of the space theme, and I thought the artwork on the front cover was really cool, and then I flipped through it. It's got a poem inside, it's all cut and paste style, and then I got to this page which absolutely cracked me up, and it's so funny, and I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but I suggest that you go and read this zine. It's really, really fun. Georgie is also a really lovely person, and I really loved hanging out with them at the zine festival. Their information is here. It's probably flipped on the camera. They are Georgie Mac. They're a visual artist and zine maker. You can find them at georgiemac.com. They are at Hello Georgie Mac on their social media. Do check their artwork out. It's really, really cool. I especially love this Furby on the back. I also picked up a mini zine of theirs that's all like, it's Riso print, and it's really fun artwork where they've switched faces of people in famous artworks with Furbies, and I thought it was adorable. I really love their artwork, and they're a really lovely person, so do check out their zines.
So that's a really difficult one to answer, and I think my answer would probably change depending on what day you ask me it on. But I've prepared some beforehand. So if you're talking about coin-operated-press zines, then my favourite at the moment is our sex positive zine. It's one of the thickest zines that we've done so far. It's 52 pages, there's so many contributors inside. 43 contributors inside, and I just really like how this one turned out, and I really enjoyed a lot of the submissions in this one, and maybe I'm just horny, I don't know, but I really like this zine. This is my favourite one that we've made so far. And I struggled to pick just one zine to say was my favourite, so I've picked three, and I'll give you my little top three of the moment. So the first one I picked out is this poetry zine by Lena Norms called Doom Rolled in Glitter. I really love Lena's videos on YouTube. She's a booktuber here on YouTube, and I just really enjoy them, and she is an amazing poet. And I mean, the cover illustration on this is just stunning, and it's really beautifully laid out as well, and all the colours are just, yeah, it's perfect. I love it, and it's on this like newsprint style paper, which I really enjoyed as well, so that's one of my favourites at the moment. I also picked out this zine from Kim Boekbinder called Night Blooming, which is named after one of her songs. She's a musician, and I just adore the illustration style in this one. So it's full of poetry, illustration, writing, based on one of her albums, and one of the songs contained within. And yeah, it's stunning. And she released a bunch of these in a series relating to different songs on her albums. Unfortunately, I only have 2 of them, and I think there was 3 or 4 in the collection, so maybe one day I'll be able to get the other ones. There was only 100 made of each. This is number 9 of 100. But yeah, this is a really stunning zine, and well worth it if you can get your hands on it. And my third and final zine is this one from one of our regular coin-op contributors, Sherry Squiddle's art, and it is Midnight Zoomies zine. I may be a little bit biased with this one because my artwork is in it, and we did a review of it here on this channel, so if you want to check out more inside this zine, you can check out the review on our channel. I'll leave it linked down in the description below and up in the iCards. But yeah, I mean, what's not to love? It's all about cats. Can't really go wrong with a cat zine. So those are my favourites for the moment, but as I said, you could ask me that again in another Q&A and I'll have changed my answer by then.
So I've been asked what the highlight of our first 2 years as Coin-Operated Press has been, and it's a really hard question to answer because there's been so many amazing things. I can't believe how far we've come in 2 years, honestly, given that we launched like a month before we all went into lockdown, and the company has existed mostly online for like a year and a half. I think that the best thing that happened was when we got to do events in person again. And we were invited to be part of the punk festival at Rad Apple's vegan restaurant in Dundee. That was really amazing, and just all of the events that we've been able to do in person have been great. The Edinburgh Zine Library Festival was amazing. We really love Lee and Abby and all of the team at Edinburgh Zine Library, and really appreciate all of the work that they do, and we really felt so honoured to be asked to have a table at their fair. I'm also really like blown over by how much like academic organisations have been really into our zines. We've got our zines in a few libraries and university libraries, and that's amazing. The very first zine that we published, Cuisine, in our very first month as a company, we got accepted into the Welcome Collection in London. That was amazing, and we're in the National Library of Scotland now, a few universities, and we're starting to do a bunch of workshops with Dundee University Student Union. I'm really excited for that. There's so many things, guys. I can't pick just one favourite thing, but overall, all of the events in person that we've been able to do since coming out of lockdown has been amazing.
Are you planning anything for International Zine Month this year? So Chloe is planning on making a bunch of mini zines again, setting myself a challenge. Clearly I like to punish myself with work. So as Coin-Operated Press, we are doing a prompts list. So every year the International Zine Month prompts list goes out and people will post about the various things on the prompts, but we're going to make our own one to make it a little bit more personalised to us, and we more than encourage you guys to take part as well. We'll be posting the prompts a week or so before the start of July, so you can get in on it as well with us. And yeah, you'll just have to stay tuned and see what that is. But if you're on our Patreon, I will be releasing that prompts list a little bit early, so if you want to join us over there, I'll leave the link down in the description below and you can get an early access peek into that prompts list. What event are you most looking forward to in 2022? I think we've already done one of my favourite ones. So last week, at the time of filming this, we did Edinburgh Zine Fest. We tabled at it and it was fantastic fun. And we're also doing Glasgow Zine Fest in July, which I'm really looking forward to as well. But I think the event that I'm most looking forward to in 2022 is one that we've only told a few people about. It's still a little bit of a secret as we're firming up details, but we're going to be hosting a really big, our biggest ever and biggest yet zine fair in October for Halloween. We're going to be doing a little sort of spooky zine fair, and it's going to be at the Student Union in the University of Dundee in the Air Bar, and it's quite a big space, so there'll be a lot of space for a lot of tablers, and we're really, really excited for it. So we're still in the planning stages at the moment, so do keep your eyes on our socials as we'll be announcing details of that soon. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I'm so excited for it.
We have so many events coming up this year. We host monthly workshops in Dundee and Edinburgh. We have tons of stuff coming up. I'm really excited for June when we have our Pride events. So we're hosting protest banner making workshops at a bunch of venues in Edinburgh and Dundee. The one that I'm most looking forward to is Cafe Queer, because I know that they go all out for Pride and it's going to be really busy, and I'm really excited to hang out with the community that we've built up over at Cafe Queer.
What can we expect to see from Coinoperated Press in your third year? So I've talked already about our Halloween zine fair that we're planning, being our biggest event that we've hosted so far, and hoping to make that definitely an annual thing, but also potentially doing a few more of them throughout the year as well. And of course we'll be running a bunch more workshops. We've already got 2022 all planned in. Of course we can always add more, but we've got at least 4 or 5 events in Edinburgh every single month. We've got 1 or 2 in Dundee every single month, and hoping to add more to that list as well. And we have just launched our zine distro, so we are taking your zines and selling them in our store, and we've just started that, so it's a very new project that we're working on, so we hope to build and expand upon that throughout our third year. We're also in a few more library collections, zine libraries and like the National Library of Scotland and the Wellcome collection. So we're hoping to get into more libraries and more collections, and we're hoping to get in our zines into more distros as well and find more stockists. So if you're a stockist or a distro and want to sell our zines, do hit us up. You can send us an email at coinoperatedpress@gmail.com, and yeah, we'd love to be stocked in your store or in your distro. So that's one of the things we're going to be working on a lot for this year. Also in our third year, we're more settled into what we're doing as a business and are able to put a name to ourselves. So we are a social enterprise. It took us a while to figure that out and get the logistics of that hammered out, but we're in the process of registering as business, and we've got a mentor with Just Enterprise Scotland, and yeah, it's really exciting to be a community-minded business, and we're really excited about that. So we're still hammering out all the details with that, but being able to call ourselves a social enterprise is really, really exciting. So we aim to build on that more throughout our third year. And speaking of our community, we really want to grow our community on Discord. So we've got a fantastic little base of international zinesters. There's people from all over the world on there. Chatting about their art, about zines, general troubleshooting for zines, and showcasing the zines that they've made, as well as events and callouts, etc. All of those wonderful things. So if you want to be a part of our little zine community, I'll leave a link down below to our Discord. It's a fantastic little space, and I'm really hoping to grow that this year as well. And our socials in general. We really love how many people we're able to reach through the wide, wonderful world of the internet. It's fantastic. We really appreciate all of your support on our socials. So thank you so much. It's been great to grow them, and hopefully we can grow them even more in our third year. And on this channel, you'll be able to see more zine reviews, more Q&As like this, our little zine vlogs, and so much more. We've got a bunch more planned for videos this year, and I'm really excited to get them out there. So yeah, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of those wonderful things coming from us soon.
If you enjoyed this video, please do comment, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You could also follow us across all of our social media. We are at coinoperatedpress. We're also on Discord. There's a really nice community of people over there sharing zine resources and ideas, and there's a pet selfie channel, there's art club, there's book club. It's a really nice community. It would be wonderful to see you over there. We also have a Patreon, and it would be wonderful if you could support us over there. It is a subscription service that we offer, so you can get access to every single zine that we publish every month. There's also extra goodies like badges, postcards and stickers. There's snail mail. There's an art club where we support other independent artists as well. So it'd be really wonderful if you could support us even for £1 a month over on Patreon. This money that we make from the donations from Patreon goes directly back into the company, and it means that we can carry on delivering workshops and hosting zine fairs and providing really awesome materials at our workshops. It would be great if you could check out our Patreon. All of the links to all of our socials, our Discord and our Patreon will be in the description below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I can't believe that we're 2 years old. I can't wait to do more birthday zines for you in the future. Hopefully this thing goes on and on and on and on for many years. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.
I really enjoyed answering all of these questions today. Thank you so much for asking them on our socials. And thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed learning all about coin-operated press. That's all from me for today. I'll see you in our next video. Bye!